I'm Crafty Kate and I run a small crochet business. On this channel we talk all things yarn and crochet. I'm not gonna lie, I have felt very speechless this week, sort of like the world is falling apart and I haven't been motivated to crochet or create or video, but I did end up deciding finally to go ahead with my Valentine's pattern video to hopefully spread some love. So I have been working on some free patterns that I'm going to share with you. I think I have 8 total free patterns and then I did 1 paid pattern. So the way I want to do the video is I have 2 more patterns that I haven't made yet, so I thought we would make those together today, and then I will go over all of the other ones. And I wrote down all of the information, how long they took, the yarn and eyes I used, and different things about the patterns to sort of test them for you. So the first one I want to make is a rose turtle I found for free. So I believe it's a YouTube video, so I'm going to have to write some stuff down to be able to work through it quickly. But I'm also kind of using this video as a bit of a stash buster. I'm trying to use up a bunch of my Premier Basix Chenille and then also a bunch of Parfait chunky. So you'll see all the other patterns I made. I've used either of those 2. But for this rose turtle, I want to use this pretty green. It's called Sage. And then for the red, for the rose, I have this dark red. It is called Cranberry. So that will be my turtle. So I'm going to get to work on this one and I will keep you posted as I go. And then we have the other pattern I want to do, and then we'll go over all of the other ones. Real quick before I get started on the turtle, this free pattern is from Passionate Crafter, and she has a written pattern for free on her blog, and then there's also a YouTube video. I am going to link both down in the description because I'm going to use both. I don't love watching YouTube tutorials because it takes so much longer to find the steps. I'd rather use a written pattern, but her written pattern on her blog, it looks like you have to sign up for the website to access part of it, and I don't want to do that. So I'm going to do everything I can from the written pattern on the blog, and then also use the YouTube video for the part that I can't see from the blog, if that makes sense. It looks like she has ads on both, so it should help her either way. But yeah, I will link both of those down in the description for you guys to kind of pick apart. But the final result is supposed to be no-sew, and it looks really cute. So we will see what we come up with. Okay guys, I'm a little annoyed. I just finished the head. And I think it looks okay. I like the eyes I picked. I used 25mm and they just have the glitter disc behind them and they're brown. I think that will be really pretty with the red. The part I'm annoyed about is there seems to be a mistake in the written pattern. I haven't watched this part of the video yet, so I'm going to see if it's different there, but it says to put the eyes after row 7, so that's what I did, and I snapped them down. And I was looking at the picture of the head. I just assumed there were more rows to be done after we attached the eyes, and there was not. So you just close it up after you add the eyes. So based on her picture, now that I've counted, it looks like she put her eyes behind row 5. So 2 rows forward from where I put mine, because there's 10 rows total and she has several rows behind the eye. So yeah, I'm hoping it doesn't look goofy when I put it on. I might have to do some face shaping or something to kind of push it out a little. I'm not really sure. So I'm a little bummed about that, but I snapped these down really hard, so there's no getting them off. So we'll just see how it goes. They're definitely pretty. I love it. It doesn't look bad like that. I'm just afraid it's going to be a little goofy that close to the body when you crochet it in. But we will see how it goes. So yeah, if you make this pattern, I'm going to watch the video to see if it's wrong there too, but put the eyes behind row 5 between 5 and 6, not 7 and 8. Okay, I just watched the video and she does say between 5 and 6. So it is just a typo in the written pattern, and unfortunate that I didn't watch the video and pay closer attention to the picture. So my bad, something you run into with free patterns, obviously. So yeah, we'll just hope that he ends up looking okay, because I'm really excited about this one. Okay guys, I just finished the turtle, and she is gorgeous. She is worth all of the headaches. Another thing I did notice about the 2 patterns, the video tutorial does not tell you how to do the tail at the end, but the written pattern from the blog does tell you how to do the tail. So if you follow the written pattern, just make sure you put the eyes behind row 5 instead of row 7. And then you should have all the information you need if you sign up for the website. Like I said, some of it is blocked. And then if you follow the video tutorial, just know you won't have an option for the tail. But if you can figure that out yourself, then go for it. Either way, I will have both linked below. I used both, obviously. But she turned out very cute. Her eyes being in the wrong place, I don't think made a huge difference. So here she is. So cute. Love these eyes. They're brown. I did the sage and the cranberry. I love this cranberry color. That is a good red. So it is no sew. You just tack the head up after you crochet it in, and then the tail is surface crocheted on at the end. The little fins are crocheted in as you go. So yeah, she definitely ended up bigger than I thought, bigger than I was expecting for a free pattern. So this is definitely the biggest project that I have for this video. The next one I want to make with you guys is also a rose themed plushie, but it is much smaller. It's supposed to be like a keychain. So I'm going to make that one with Parfait Chunky. But this girl took me, I think, an hour and a half. That's obviously with never having made it before. So figuring things out, flipping between the patterns. Once you make one, I think the next one would go a lot faster. The petals are really easy once you get the hang of it. So it's really a simple pattern. So yeah, I think you could make it a lot faster than an hour and a half, but obviously I was struggling a bit. Premier Basix Chenille 6mm hook. These are 25mm eyes. And I just love her so much. So I'm going to take a quick little break, and then when I get back we will start the other rows. That one, like I said, I'm going to make with Parfait Chunky, and I really wanted to have a peach rose. And then the greens I have in Parfait Chunky, I have a lot of them, but none of them matched perfectly, so I picked this one. So this one is pistachio, so I think those look pretty together. So it's like a little potted rose keychain. I don't know if I'm going to put a keychain on it or make it like a little desk buddy, but so those are the colors for that. So when I get back, we will start making that, and then I will show you the rest. They're all staring at me over here, and they're very, very cute. Okay, I'm back from my little break. I had some coffee. I'm ready to go. I just started this little rose. I just wanted to pop on real quick. When you see this hyperlapse, you might be able to tell, but me and Parfait Chunky, we are fighting. You'll see most of the stuff I made yesterday is with Parfait Chunky, and I have been really struggling with magic rings with Parfait Chunky, especially when you have bigger stitches in it, like not single crochets. This one has half double crochets. So I had to frog once, and what I've discovered is if you make the magic ring a little bit bigger than you normally would, and then pretty much after every stitch I start with 2 and then pull it a little bit tighter do a stitch, pull it a little bit tighter, do a stitch, just to keep it from sticking, because if you do like 4 stitches and then try to pull it, it gets stuck and then does this lovely thing that Parfait Chunky loves to do. So yeah, that's what I have been trying to do to make it work better. I had a little struggle with this one. I have another pattern that I'll talk about it as well. I used the Yarn Art Dolce yarn, and I frogged it like 7 times, I think, before I finally got it to work. So yeah, that's my tip for that, is do a couple stitches, pull it just a teeny bit to keep it moving through the stitches, and start with it a little bigger than you normally would, so that you have a little extra to pull it tight each time, if that makes sense. So here we go with our little peach rose. This one should be really quick, so I'll probably just hyperlapse the whole thing and then show you when I'm done. I'm hoping it's quick. Hopefully I didn't jinx myself. Okay, I just finished this little cutie and I love her so much. So she's got the pretty little rose top and then the little, I don't know if it's a pot or like the little rose bud part, but so cute. So total it took me 18 minutes, not counting adding the blush and the smile, but everything else was 18 minutes. I used Parfait Chunky, a 4.5mm hook, and these are 10mm eyes, and then I did the blush in pink and then the little tiny smile. I think she's adorable. Let's see, things I changed for the very last row of decreases. I did back loop only. The pattern does not say to do that, but I wanted it to be nice and flat because, like I said, I wanted it to be a desk buddy, not necessarily a keychain. It could be a really cute keychain though, so. But yeah, I did back loop only for the last row, and then it's perfectly flat, and then I lightly stuffed it so it's not bulging out the bottom. One thing about the pattern is it doesn't mention in the pattern where to put the eyes, but she does acknowledge that in the description of the post and tells you where to put them, so that was nice. I wasn't exactly sure about the petals. It's a little confusing about what stitch goes where, but it was really similar to the turtle, so I just did it that way and it ended up landing where it was supposed to on the back. So if you make this pattern, the petals are made over 3 stitches, so just keep that in mind. Don't do an extra stitch because it's hard to tell which stitches she wants in a stitch, if that makes sense. But so I used 3 stitches of the base for each petal. But yeah, she turned out so cute. I love her so much. So that's the last pattern that I was going to make with you guys today, but I have 6 more free ones to share with you that I made yesterday, and then I have 1 paid pattern that I made Valentine's themed that I will share with you at the end. So let me get my notes. Okay, we'll start with, I did 3 different free patterns from Therapy on My Hook, and they are all on Instagram. So we'll start with this one. So I made the little chocolate covered strawberry, and this one I did Parfait Chunky 4.5mm hook. This is the candy apple color. I thought it was perfect for strawberry. So there's that. Mine turned out a little bit longer and skinnier than hers, which is weird because usually mine end up compact, but I still think it's cute, and strawberries are all different sizes and shapes, so I think it works just fine. You do sew the green part on, so this one is not no-sew, and then you embroider the white drizzle on there, but it was really quick. This one took me 18 minutes, so about the same as this guy. I think just because you have to make the piece separate and sew it on, and then the embroidery, I did count the embroidery on this one, so I think this one would take you a little bit longer just because of all the petals and everything. But 18 minutes, and again, I'll mention the first time you make a pattern is not a great estimate of how long it will take just because you're trying to figure it out, but then the second time you make it, you know a lot more of how it's going to work. So these are all just the first time I made these, so not exact timings. And yeah, I didn't find any mistakes in the pattern or anything weird about this one. So that is the little chocolate covered strawberry. Okay, and then another one from Therapy on My Hook, let's see, was the little bee. So here's the little love bee. This is Parfait Chunky. The pinks are Parfait Chunky, and then the white is the Dolce, the Yarn Art Dolce. And these are what I wanted to talk about with these are made in the magic ring and not single crochet stitches. And Dolce is even worse than Parfait Chunky, if you can believe it, with moving on the strand. So I really, really struggled with these wings, trying to get the magic ring to close. But I did eventually get it to work, like I said, making the magic ring bigger than you normally would and then pulling it a little bit after every single stitch. So I did get it to work, and they are very cute, but definitely a pain. I'm planning on adding a little keychain to this one. I just haven't done it yet, but teeny tiny. I did 10mm eyes for this one. This one took me 20 minutes because of the struggle with the wings. And then you do have to sew the wings on, so this is not no sew. A way I like to add wings, I didn't do it with this one, but if you have two ends coming off your wings, I like to leave the back open and then pull the ends in where you want them to sit and then just tie a knot. So I find that a little easier than sewing them on, but I had already closed up my bee before I made the wings, so I didn't do that on this one. So yeah, I'm going to add a keychain to this one, but really cute, pink. You can do any colors really. And the little heart-shaped wings I thought were fun. So there's that little guy. And then the last one from Therapy on My Hook was just a plain little heart. I'm going to make this one into a keychain as well. But here's this little thing. So this one took me 12 minutes. Obviously very fast, very quick. No sew. This is Parfait Chunky 4.5mm hook. So if you used bigger yarn, you could make a bigger one. I am going to make this one into a keychain as well. And then I thought this would be fun to use as like an accessory, because a lot of animals are cute just holding a little heart. Like I've seen frogs and all kinds of fun little like teddy bears holding little hearts. So I thought this heart would be perfect for that. I didn't have time to make any of the little animals to go with it, so I just have the heart. But you can make these in different colors and add them to basically anything. So I thought that was awesome. Stuffing this was a little bit tricky because it gets so tiny at the end to get the last little bit of stuffing in. So I did end up using a stuffing stick to like jam it through the little hole at the end. So just keep that in mind. Stuff it as much as you can before you get to the closing round to help you out a little bit. Oh, and there was one mistake in this pattern for round 2. I think it says increase times 6, but you actually just do it 5 times. So that was the only little mistake that I saw. But yeah, it turns out really cute. This will be a really cute keychain, I think. So there's that one. And that's the last one I made from Therapy on My Hook. Okay, and then we have the little heart desk buddy from Jar Full of Knots. So here is this little cutie. Too funny. He is so cute. So this one is Premier Basix Chenille, both colors, and then these are 12mm eyes. I use a 6mm hook for Premier Basix Chenille. Okay, so this one took me 35 minutes. Let's see. I have a note about round 4, which is where you connect the 2 heart pieces, and I had a little trouble because the stitch count doesn't add up because you use 4 stitches to attach it and then your short 2 stitches later on for the next row. So where they attach in the corners, I just added extra stitches to kind of sew up the gaps as well. So just know that you can add stitches where you need to, if that makes sense. And then It was a little unclear about how to do the bottom. I thought we were making a point, like a heart, but she actually wants it to be really flat. So don't overstuff this guy. You want the bottom to be very flat. So make sure you do that when you're making it. And this guy took me 35 minutes. I think I said that already. But yeah, he's just a little desk buddy. So he sits. The feet are surface crocheted on, and then the little arms you actually sew on. But I just kind of pulled the ends through and tied a knot. Like I was mentioning with the wings on the bee, that's how I did the little arms. And then she also has some little, I think if you buy her pattern, it comes with some little signs that you can attach to his little arms. So he has a little saying here, so that's really cute. But I thought he was just a cute little desk buddy guy. The top is a little funny. It's hard to see the way it attaches, but he ended up pretty cute. So there's that little guy. So then we have this one. Let me find the notes. Okay, and I've made this one before, but I wanted to make a Valentine's Day themed one. I did a search on Instagram for Valentine's Day themed plushies and patterns and stuff, and I found somebody had made this. It might have even been the pattern designer. So this is from Teresa's Crochet Shop, and it's the little stingray. So I've made these before, and these were great sellers for me at markets. I sold them for $10. But this one, obviously, I added the little heart embroidery. He's got the little smile. So cute. So this one is a YouTube tutorial, and let's see. This one took me 40 minutes. I'm not sure why it took me so long. I think I was a little distracted. But you make each piece, you make the top piece and the bottom piece, and then you crochet them together. So this one is no-sew. The tail you surface crochet on at the end. It does take a little bit longer to embroider, so maybe that's why it took so long. But this one I used Parfait Chunky 4.5mm hook. I used 10mm eyes. In her pattern she says 12mm, but when I put 12, they just look too big and bug-eyed to me, so I did 10mm eyes. And then I like to surface crochet on the spots before I crochet it together and add the stuffing, because if you embroider a lot, you know stuffing comes out like crazy, and I hate that. So I embroidered everything on this top piece before I put them together and stuffed it. And then I added the little smile. So yeah, there's that. Love this color. This is the Candy Apple from Parfait Chunky. Again, I thought it was the perfect like pinkish red. So very, very cute. Love this guy. And like I've said, these were great sellers at my markets for me before. So there's that little guy. And then we have one more free pattern, and this one was actually my favorite. I liked it so much. It was the last one I made last night, and I had so much fun with it. I actually made a second one because they are just too cute. I cannot get over them. So this is from, okay, this one is from Hugurumi Toys. Hugurumi Toys. I'm not sure how to say it, but so it's a free pattern on her Instagram. And so this is the first one I made. So it's a little heart-shaped cookie, like the ones you get at Walmart with the frosting and the sprinkles. So like I mentioned before, I was trying to use this video as a bit of a stash buster for yarn, and I had two little rolls, two little like teeny balls of the green speckle and then this cream. So I thought I would try to use some up. So that's why I did green, not really a Valentine's Day color. But I like how the sprinkles are built into it, so that was awesome. So these are no-sew, and you make two pieces kind of like the stingray and then crochet them together, and then it puffs up into the little cookie, and I just thought they were the cutest thing ever. So let's see. Parfait Chunky 4.5mm hook. These are 10mm eyes again. Teeny bit of stuffing in this. It's no-sew, and these took me 20 minutes each. And one note I had about the pattern was to read all of her notes before you start, because there are some stitches that you skip in the decreases up here. And if you're not, it's not like a normal way to do things. So if you just read the pattern and do it, you're going to have too many stitches, if that makes sense. So definitely read all of her notes because she explains exactly how to do it and why that is. So I made this little green one and I loved it so much that I immediately made another one. So here is the other one. Her little sprinkles make her look mad, but the Valentine's Day cookies at Walmart are pink frosting, and then they have little white and red hearts sprinkled on top. So that's why I did white and red. But I feel like this one makes her look mad. But look how cute. They look good enough to eat. Like literally so cute. So these were my favorite makes from the patterns that I did. Love these guys. If I could sell them, I would make tons and tons of these. Every color. So cute. Can't get over them. So that is my 8 free patterns. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So yeah, 8 free patterns. And then like I said, I have 1 paid pattern that I made Valentine's Day themed. So this is a pattern I made a whole bunch around Christmas. And I just had this random idea pop in my head that I could do hearts for the spots. So I made this. Let me get her set up here. So this is the Snowy Owl pattern from Mom's Stitch Eddy. The pattern also has a Great Horned Owl version. So I just made the Snowy Owl, but I made it pink with the little hearts. And then this is one of the variegated colors from Elise Voluto. This is all Elise Voluto. 6mm hook for this girly. So she's got the little variegated, and then the pink matches perfectly. Little pink toenails. There's some gray splashed in here. So I did the gray for the feet. And then these are 25mm eyes. Just the glitter discs with the silver. I thought it matched well with the gray. I didn't have a pink that matched perfectly. I really wanted her to have pink eyes, but I didn't have any that matched just right, and I didn't want to paint any. But, so there's that little lady. I love the way she turned out. So cute. Subtle, but bright and fun. So there's that cutie. I love her so much. So, okay, that is all of the patterns that I have to share with you. Hopefully you found some joy in this video, and maybe I inspired you to make some cuties for Valentine's Day to brighten someone else's day. I do have a couple of announcements that I want to go over before I end the video. So this video comes out tomorrow, which is Thursday, and then on Friday, my Aspen the Beaver pattern releases. So if you're interested in this pattern, she will release on Friday, and I will post everywhere when that happens. And I'm planning on doing a little bit of a sale for her for the weekend, so probably until Monday. So this is Aspen the Beaver. She's no-sew. She has a cool texture to her tail. There's a video tutorial to help you with this if you've never done it before. There's a little chewed branch accessory that you can make for her. Little leaves on there. But yeah, so she's no-sew completely. She's got little webbed feet. Everything is crocheted in as you go. So there's that cutie. I'm very excited to get her out into your hands. So that, again, will release on Friday. So keep an eye out for that. And then all of my Valentine's themed things I will have available in my PalmStreet on Saturday. I'm doing a Valentine's Day PalmStreet on the 31st, I believe it is. Let me look. Yes, the 31st at 12 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. I'm going to have all of my little Valentine's Day makes because that will give it plenty of time to get shipped and get to you before Valentine's Day. So definitely go bookmark that if you haven't already. I'll have it linked down in the description for you guys, and I'd love to see you guys over there. I'll probably be live for an hour to 2 hours just chatting and showing everything again, answering questions, whatever you guys want to talk about. So Saturday, PalmStreet, and then Friday, the Beaver pattern releases. So I think that's all my updates. So let's do, for an emoji for making it all the way to the end of the video, let's do your favorite color of heart down in the comments. Let's flood the comments with hearts. I really just felt like I wanted to spread a little love this week after everything from last week. So I hope you guys are hanging in there, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!